welcome back. It's Debbie with Kip's Corner. Today I'm going to continue the series on using fabrics and laces and trims and such in your journal. This is going to be a quick video because this is one of the most simple things you can do. Very simple. So I have a page here from Edith Holden. I cut it, pulled it out of the book, trimmed it up. There was some text on here at the bottom. I trimmed that and just kind of got to a size that I liked. It's got a dragonfly on it. And then I put some score marks here and here, and I'm going to create an envelope. I backed it with part of the green marble kit from Poppiness, which is Susan Taylor Brown's shop on Etsy. So this is a printout from Green Marble. Backed it so that I wouldn't have, just because I'm creating an envelope and I wanted the inside to be pretty. So here we go. And then I scored it, and that's my envelope, or going to be. But when I look at the flap, it's upside down. Well, both back sides are upside down. This doesn't bother me as much because it's kind of a floral piece, and it just doesn't bother me. If there was upside down text, I might do some collaging on here, and I might go back later, but I'm not going to today. What I'm going to focus on today is just this flap. I've got a couple pieces of trim here. This is a piece from the Snippet Shop, which is a store on Etsy, which has some nice, pretty trims. And I don't know where this came from, maybe Hobby Lobby or something. It's just a simple little lace trim. I'm going to use both of these on this. So what I'm going to do is just add a little glue here, hang that off the edge, and glue this on, and then I may go back later and do some sewing and finishing up the envelope. So like I said, this is just a simple thing. I'm not planning to show videos that are complicated in any way, shape, or form. This is just to inspire you and give you some ideas on how to use some of that trim and stuff and fabric and things like that you have in your stash, in your closet somewhere, wherever you may have some extra pieces of trim or fabric. I look for laces and trims and fabrics and things like that at estate sales, and have gotten some really pretty pieces from there. And that's it. Just kind of taking that across the top. I probably shouldn't have wasted so much over here, but it'll have a place. It can get used somewhere, somehow, some way. And I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. And I didn't pay much attention to what I was trimming here. Let me kind of pull that a little bit further that way. Yeah, that works. Trim her off. Go ahead and cut that piece. Trim her off here. Save. Okay. That's what I've got so far. I kind of like turning around and working on it upside down a little bit. Okay, now I'm just gonna flood this with, let's see, how wide is it? Like that. Yeah, that works. I'm just gonna flood this with, this is Beacon 3-in-1. Same thing as Fabri-Tac, or at least I'm pretty sure they're the same. Nobody has ever figured out what the difference is. The difference has to do with who sells it, where it's available, I think. I don't know. One of these days we should all write Beacon and ask them, what's the difference? We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. I don't know. Okay. Just going to plunk that right on top there. Like that. Try to get it straight. And I'm layering these, bringing this on top just to make it look a little bit more like a, I don't know, a layered piece. There we go. Just gives it a little bit more interest rather than butting them up right next to each other. got that piece kind of tucking out behind. All right, there we go. Pretty, pretty. And I inked this after I attached I put the 2 pages together. And again, I just use, in this case, I just use Fabri-Tac. I know there are some people who like using glue sticks. I have a glue stick, but yeah, you know, it's not my favorite thing to use, but there are occasions where they come in handy. And some people don't like using Fabri-Tac, and some people don't like using, it's, you know, it's one of those things where whatever works for you. And here we go. Now I'm going to sew this up the side. Actually, you know what? I can glue it first. Let's use some art glitter glue. And I'll just run a little strip of glue right down the side to hold it. And then after that's nice and dry, I'll come back and put a little seam there maybe. Probably. Yeah, probably. Okay. Close her up. Okay. Simple as that. Just a little tiny piece of trim. I mean, you know, there wasn't much there, and it makes the world of difference. Now we've got the front of the envelope, and we've got the back. You open it up, and it's got a nice, pretty kind of combination that goes together. I may, like I said, I may come back and do some more collaging to this later. I'll definitely sew here. But the point was just to give you another idea and to perhaps inspire you one more way just to use some laces and trims. And before we go, I want to show you another one more way real quick. These are the signatures that I've begun working on for my Dragonfly book, a journal. And the nature of the size, this is a Reader's Digest condensed book that was that I'm using the cover on. And when I get a kit, and they're sized whatever, I'm focused on getting the exact height when I print these out. So when I print them out, I set set the page to print at the exact height I need. Now what happens then is that oftentimes my page might be a little shorter, especially on digital kits, and in my instance, particularly the size I need here, which is 7 1/4 by 5 1/4. And so when I size this at 7 1/4 high, this is a little short. Rather than kind of forcing it to get the width for the pages, because let's face it, you know, pages on the inside that are all different sizes and shapes are fine. My problem is that I use these as the first page of this signature. And so I like to have a cleaner edge. I hope I'm making sense. So what I do is I go in, and now the pages that are really bad, this is called push out. You can see this. Look at how far out this is. These all started out as kind of the same size, but the more you add, the more it pushes out. So you get your middle signature pages or leaves in your signature have this extra. Now I'll come back in later and probably trim some of those off. But if it's not that horrible, I like to, like here, just this first page. This doesn't have a lot of push out, but this is still shorter. So I went in and I just glued lace, just like on the envelope, just glued some lace on the edge on both the front and the back. And I do that for each of the signatures. And then I don't have to worry about those being really, really short and it looking awkward kind of while you're flipping through. And, you know, and some people like that, and that's fine. There is no right or wrong here. But I just wanted to show you that's just another way. And then I don't typically put much more lace on the inside. I'm not a big, drape it all over kind of thing. I just like a very subtle kind of touch to it. And so that's why I'll do the first page of the signatures. Now this one, I didn't even use a very big piece. It's a pretty small, thin piece. Once I trim this one off, it'll be fine. So that's just another tip for you. For something to consider or not, you know, there is no right or wrong here. But hopefully this inspires you to go find some trim and play around with it. Thanks for watching. Bye.